And take the shifter off just to keep it out of the way. I had to pop that guy off, and then this guy just comes out pretty easily after that. I'm gonna run the wire through there. That's off. Up in here, it's maybe hard to see, but right past this piece of felt pad or whatever, there's a rubber grommet there. You can press on it, it's flexible. We're gonna plug a hole through that with a screwdriver, and we can put the wiring harness in there. And that will connect us up into the engine compartment, the battery. Okay, I went back and forth trying from the inside and the outside a few times, but we're sticking through. Like I said, tight space. You do have to use a little oomph to press through that, but there it is. So I should be able to pretty easily fish the wire through there using the old coat hanger and duct tape trick. All right, I got my coat hanger fish through there. If you have a proper wire fish, it'd probably be a little easier. That was pretty tough to push through, and still coming. I got the pliers on it. There we go. Okay, so we got the wires through, so that's one of the physically more difficult parts of the project. The wire, of course, is going to run to the battery here, and the camera will eventually install it. So we're going to run the wires to the stereo across here. So there's a couple 10mm bolts need to come out there and there. And when you get those out, this comes off and we can nicely run the wire back there. And next I'll have to take off the panel to get at the back of the stereo. So coming up. Okay, with those off, I think this just kind of pops out. There's just these pins here. I'm going to put the camera down so I can be careful taking it off. I don't want to snap them, but they just pull off with steady pressure. So for this one, I was able to get a little pry tool right there and loosen it up a little bit. So there's not really a way of getting around having to take out this whole centerpiece in order to get the radio faceplate off. So open the glove box and pries out from here. There's one of these guys, these soft pry bars that I got online to try and keep the the material from snapping and breaking and stuff. So I got that off. And then there's some more. Next you pry out from down here and pull the unit out. All right, so I reached back in here with these and just kind of give it some pulling. And this guy's pretty much ready to take off now. There we go. See these clips that you don't want to break. There. And then I think, yeah, this unit here just also pops right out, I think. Yeah, there it goes. And then we'll have a couple screws there, little bolts there and there that we'll need to take out to get to the head unit so we can put the wiring harnesses on the back. There's 4 10mm bolts to get out right there. Yeah, the closer two, you can see they're missing. The other ones are set deep back in there. Okay, so this guy's got a couple clips holding it. You just got to kind of pull it out. There you go. Yeah, I just scratched my dash, so be careful not to do that. Okay, so real quick, there's an empty spot right there. There was 2 empty spots, now there's 1. I popped that out and plugged my new switch through. That's where I'm gonna put it. So I just plugged it into place and it fits in nice, and I can see it clicking on and off, rear, front, off, and I'll be back at that in a bit. There we go. To kind of get things out of the way, I set the stereo out there on a blanket, put this thing in here. You can actually, there's some pinch pins that you can remove this if you want to move it further out of your way, but I'm just gonna leave it there for now. And then this is here. So to get these wiring harnesses out, I don't have enough hands to get a good angle on it, but you need to press on that little clip in order to get them to pop out. Yeah, that little clip holds them in place, so just press on that while you pull and it pops right out. Okay, so I went ahead and wired one of these up. They don't fit on the wrong ones, so you unplug these 2 here, this guy and this guy, and then just plug them in where they fit on these and get it back in there. I'll just click into place. There we go, got the click. I did some more fishing here to get my wire over without actually taking off the entire piece of the console there. And trust me, I'll pull it through that way. Okay, so I don't think I missed anything, but I plugged in the wiring harnesses. Excuse my duct tape holding these together. I just don't want them to slip apart. And then I got some oversized wire nuts, but I got some wire nuts on the camera and the relay going to the switch. They color coded everything up, so you'll have extra wires from the switch and from the wiring harnesses that comes with. So yeah, red to red, orange to orange, green to green, everything's color coded, blue to blue, gray to gray, and black to black, and no extra wires. And next I'm going to go back in the front and start getting the camera plugged in. Okay, I'm back up front here. I'm hooking up the power and ground. So got this cable here, and I just attach the ground directly to that guy, and the power we can hook to the 4th fuse down here. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a fuse puller right here. So you yank that guy out, and if you don't have an add a fuse like I don't, you can just plug in there and pop the fuse back in. There we go, that guy's in there. And pop the cap back on. Okay, so I made a mistake or 2 along the way. I had the wrong camera feeds showing up and stuff. Basically I had the video feeds from the relay and the rear camera out and the front camera out mixed up, so they were plugged in the wrong spot. So don't do that. I tested everything out here, so everything's not put together yet, but there's a lot of glare up here. Let's see if I can. Okay, basically you can see there's the startup screens coming up and all that. So it's on the home screen right there. Like I said, sorry about the glare. But I'm gonna go down here to my switch and hit rear camera. And you can see that the rear camera is showing, you can see the back bumper in it a little bit there. And then go to front camera. And you can see it's pointed at the trees right now because I don't have it mounted. But rear camera, front camera, turn the switch off and it goes to the home screen. And if I go into reverse, the rear camera comes up. You can see the back bumper again there. And yeah, sorry about the harsh glare, but whatever. So I'm gonna see if I can get away with not mounting this relay. I'm just gonna kind of cushion it with some foam and put it somewhere in there and hope it doesn't rattle. If it does, I might open this back up and find a better way to mount it. So I forgot if I touched on this earlier, but you need to ground the relay switch. So these are the wires coming out of the ground wire coming out of the relay, and I tapped in my own ground wire, and that deep bolt back there can work as a ground. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just gonna screw it in there and ground it. I tested it. Everything seems to be working all right. So, yep. All right, so I'm getting ready to install this thing. I made my little notch I was talking about a second ago, and I'm gonna clamp it down with the nut provided, and I'm gonna double it up with some industrial double-sided 3M tape. Get it on Amazon. Something to notice in the instructions. So since this is a backup camera, it's meant to be on the back of the car, and the video feed is meant to be a mirror image, as if you were looking in your rearview mirror. So when you install it as a front camera, everything's reversed, everything's backwards. So if somebody approaches the car from the right, the video feed will show them approaching from the left. So in the online instructions with this camera, they mention that you cut the green wire. Oops. That if you cut the green wire, it will reverse the image and make it, you know, work like a front camera instead of reverse. And it says that the white wire is for the guidelines to turn those on or off. And I found that they're wrong. So the white wire reverses the image and the green wire controls the guidelines. So if you don't want guidelines, then cut the green wire. I'm gonna electrical tape that back together. If you want the camera installed in the front, you're gonna want to cut the white wire. All right, almost done. All right, so there's the cam, we're all done. Yeah, we're in the middle. Here's what the front looks like, so you can see it in the camera. All right, so if I go reverse, hit the reverse cam, I can park, and then if I hit rear on my switch, got rear on my switch, neutral puts back to normal, and then if I select front, I've got the front cam. So there we go. Now I can see what it takes to run over my toolbox.